Hey ho, how's everybody doing today? My van life people and my traveling people, and if you're on vacation and just trying to drive, or if you're just coming back from work or going to work. You're gonna see me in the vehicle, and I'm kind of at an odd angle, and I apologize for that, but I'm at an angle because of where my phone has to be. Anyway, I just was thinking of y'all, and I just thought I'd hop on here and give you an update. So, house is up for sale. I know I said that in one of my other videos. So that's going on. As far as any sales, I thought I had one, and then, and then that fell through. And then we had about 2-3 more, and somebody wanted to reschedule a time, and then they didn't like the time, and I couldn't because I was working. And it was a back and forth deal, and then they just said, oh, never mind. We're just not going to go look at the house because I couldn't accommodate them. Anyway, so y'all pray for me because there's somebody's name on that house that God wants to have. I just don't know who it is at this point. But I can't wait to get a van. I can't wait to get into van life because right now this SUV is too small. I love my car. I've told you guys that before. When I get the van, I will certainly, you'll all be the first ones to know, and besides family and friends, of course, that are right out here, but I will go ahead and let y'all know because I'm going to have to also fix it up. So I'm buying the sound deadening thing, which I would strongly recommend if you have a van, you do. If you're doing bare bones, like I'm getting a cargo van, get the sound deadening stuff. I got it from Amazon, like everything, and got that, and it's got a sticky back to it, but it's also advised by people that have worked with it. Yeah, it sticks. There's not an issue there, but go ahead and buy the spray stuff. I'm sorry guys, I gotta look at this. Traffic is insane. You know it's Friday. It is Friday if you don't know, but I get this spray stuff. It's a 3M spray. Yes, Amazon has it. The one number on it is 70, I think, and then the other one I think is 90 or 99. It makes it stick better, like it's more, more sticky. It's more better. Anyway, so if you put that on the back as well. So I noticed that's what they did in Home on Wheels. That's their website. There's a Home on Wheels Alliance. It's HOWA, 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 and that's another one you can check out. There's a lot of interviews they do with people that have, vans and such. You may want to look at that if you're interested in that kind of thing. But that's what they did. They did that spray on the back of that. But that sound deadening stuff, hey, I got like 3 packages of it. I got the smaller one to see if I would like it. I thought, let me buy it and see how it comes. How you... And if I thought it was like yucky, I wouldn't buy it. But I really liked how they did it. And I'm like, you can cut it to whatever configuration you need. And then you go ahead and spray it. There's sticky stuff on the back already, which is good. But then you got that other stuff that adheres, and that will adhere to your van wall. So you're using that for sound deadening. It does give you some insulation, but don't just depend on that because it's not going to be enough. So after that, you can do that styrofoam board type stuff if you'd like. You can probably do fiberglass if you want, but I don't want to mess with fiberglass, so I would not recommend that. But there are, like those foam board things you see at Home Depot there, those big boards, you can do that and cut them and put it in there. And on the one video that Home Alliance, that one, they used a certain one too. It was like a board like that too, and it wasn't the pink one though, like the Pink Panther one. I was called the Pink Panther one, so it wasn't that one. But that's more insulation. And then don't forget, when you insulate, guys, go ahead and put it in those little holes, nooks, crannies, or like where the ribs are on the side of the van, because you don't want that heat transference there or the cold there, because then you'll get, it's like having a draft, like when you have a draft in your door, it'll be like that. So make sure you tuck it in, and get it in there. And you should be fine that way. That's what my plan is. I know how to do it. Again, you're going to use the adhesive stuff to stick that styrofoam on there. And then you'll have like the double layers. And if I can think of anything else, it'll make me a triple layer, I will. I would do they say you don't have to do the floor, but I kind of want to do the floor and put the sound deadening stuff there in the floor, as well as the rubber mat kind of thing. You know, the puzzle pieces that go together using gym, when you do your gym workouts. So I want to also do that, and then put the other flooring on it, because I want as much as I can to keep me warm and safe and dry. So that's what I'm suggesting. If you need to get a water barrier, I would look into that as well, because there's insulation that's a water barrier as well. And you shouldn't get all that. You don't want mold in the van. So I want to look into that too, because I know when I did my gym, my home gym, that's what the guy used. It was a moisture barrier. So you want to look into all that. So look it up, do your research. We are at 6 minutes, and I'm still driving back to my house. I dropped off my grandson, so hence I'm in traffic, and hence it's thick because it's Friday, and I gotta go back down the same road, the other side, when I go to work. So this is going to be interesting today. I think there's something happened up here, so here we go again. I'm in Washington State, y'all, so just so nobody can drive in Washington State, so yeah. Anyway, it's like I thought Texas was bad for driving, but no. And California ain't got nothing on this place, I'll tell you that. So, but at any rate, look into all that for your installation. I'm going to also plug a book right now, and I do sell my own books, by the way. So we have the little dolphin that wanted to sing, Ikea, the little dolphin who wanted to sing. It's a coloring book. And also RC, the gecko who wanted to play the piano. So there's that one, and you know what I look like, and my picture should be up there. But Mary Saunders, you know my name, so go look for it, please. But the other book that I was actually going to plug, the other one I wanted to plug, was Minivan Lee. Now, I like her very well, and I watch a lot of her stuff. Boy, man, I almost got hit. That was close. The guy cut in front and behind me, where one cut in front, one cut in back, and the back one didn't have enough room, but he won't make himself fit. Anyway, so Minivan Lee, how to live in a minivan, the Minivan Lee way. She's got a yellow one out. I got the blue one, so you can look on Amazon for that as well. And she talks about things like insulation, but now she's got a minivan. So just keep that in mind. If you don't have like a cargo van, but you get, minivan, she's great for that. And her layout is phenomenal. So I'm just letting you know. So, yeah, there must be an accident up here. Something went wonky. Anyway, so go ahead and check that out. I think that would do y'all some good, give you an idea what you need, what you don't need, and what works for you. So that's the bare bones about that one. Right now it's sunny in Washington State, but they're talking about the first frost is going to come in October. So would you all do me a favor, please, and pray that my house sells before October, because I do not want to be outside in the frost, in the cold, trying to insulate a van that I'm going to have to stay in. And I don't want to go through what I went through with the U-Haul van. If you go back and look at one of my videos, you'll see that I'm in a U-Haul. And of course, I can't insulate it because it's not mine. Oh, while I'm thinking of it, I used moving blankets in that one to block draft, because there's a draft, and to block things. Now, it helped to a certain extent, okay? But it's not going to save you. So if you're doing your insulation, your sound deadening, your insulation, and then your moving blankets too, wow. And then putting that, a board or paneling or whatever you want to put back up in there for the fancy stuff, that would even be better. So I'm just thinking of ways to help y'all. Hopefully those are some tips that you can use. I just got my little faucet that where it runs on a battery. You put in the water, you can have your little collapsible sink. I've watched so many people do that, so I'm going to have that. So I'm just buying things, and that's what I would recommend. If you want to get into van life, or like even with this SUV, I did it over time. I didn't do it all at once. So it's like you want to start to think, okay, what am I going to do? If you have a stick and brick, like me, I put it up on for sale, unless you have the money and can keep the stick and brick and travel. Usually it ends up being one or the other, because, well, especially if you're on Social Security and all like I am, then that's a different story too, y'all, because, your money's limited. And when Social Security says they overpaid you and they want some of their money back, which happens to me, I won't be getting the full check, right? So it's not bad though. It really isn't bad. I mean, I'll be fine. But I'm just saying, you want to keep those things in mind. So just be very mindful of that. Figure out your pension, if you have one, your Social Security, any investments you might have had. What do you have in savings? Have a savings that you have on the side at your emergency fund. That's another thing you want to think about. If you have a stick and brick, I'm going to get rid of mine because it's just, I'm not going to keep it. I mean, besides, I got to go out and evangelize anyway. So, me staying home and just, what am I going to do? Evangelize the four walls, So I do, talk to people that God puts in front of me, of course. But go ahead if that's, if you're called to do anything like that. If you're not called, you're not called. I am. So it's really important to me, and I got to trust in God on this one, because it just doesn't seem to be selling fast enough, right? So that's going on. But hopefully those are some good tips. You get rid of your house. I'm selling my furniture. The only thing I'm not going to get rid of right now is the day bed, a desk that my dearest friend Michelle, who's like my daughter, made for me. Keeping that. I do not want to get rid of that no matter what. And there's actually a folding glass thing that I can use. I used it in the U-Haul, if you had seen that. And that thing was very sturdy. You wouldn't think, because it's mirrored, but the bottom is all metal, so it stays. And I can attach it, no problem. So think about those things. Where are you going to eat? Where are you going to put your makeup on, ladies? Where are you going to brush your hair? Where y'all going to brush your teeth? Because we all got that. Well, some of us have more than others. I don't know. But nonetheless, we all have some teeth. And you got to clean them, right? So where are you going to do that? That kind of stuff. So you got to think about that. Maybe draw a diagram for yourself. I've done a diagram and measurements, and then I take it in and take your measuring tape in when you want to buy a vehicle. And see what exactly is the space that you have. I'm going to do that in about another week or two. What exactly would be my space? I want to make sure, because if I keep the day bed, which I'd love to keep, because I have space underneath, it'll go over a wheel well, it's terrific. But is it going to fit? So I got to make sure, that I'm doing the right things. So do that. If not, you make your own platform for your bed, and I can tell you about that if anybody wants to know how to do that. It's not hard. And I'm even thinking, you know what, you can even use them cube things. We used to call them little cubbies, where they have 8 together. They're foot wide. So there's 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. You put your books or your CDs or whatever. I've got a bunch of them. I use them for storage. But, yeah, you can do those, because that's 4 feet. And if you get one more, that's 1 or 2 more feet. There you go. And go put a board across. It's like having 2 railings underneath, if you will, but you got storage. So that would be that's my other go-to if I can't, The only thing is, how do you get around the wheel well then, see? So those are things you have to take into consideration. That's why I'm wanting to use what I already have, because it will work. So, like I said, say a prayer for me. I'm going to get off of here soon. I'm driving home, and I just want to talk to y'all and let you know that these are things you can do. And by the way, ladies, you can do this. Do not be afraid to do this. Everybody's trying to scare me to death and tell me, oh, no, you can't do this. You're going to get, unalived in your van and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, let me put it to y'all this way, and I want you to think about this. If you're in an apartment, somebody breaks in, Can you get out without them? Can you, if you're in, like in my case, I have a mobile home. So if I'm in there and somebody comes in the back way, and can you get out? I mean, that's any house. It doesn't matter the house. But, you know, if you have a house, you cannot throw a key in the ignition and drive away. Because let me tell you, you try to break in to a vehicle that I'm in, and I know you're trying to break in, and I hear you out there, oh, well, don't get in my way, because I'm just going to put the key in the ignition and take off. So if you want to hang on to the van, go ahead. You're going to flop around like a rag doll. But if you, you know, if you don't bother me, no problem. But if you don't like the situation, you can always drive away, is my point, okay? And I think there's a little more protection. I'm not saying it's 1,000%, right? Because really, God is our protection. But, I mean, anything like that, you have a better chance. And because of the lifestyle that I want to lead, I have to think about that. So if this is something, ladies, you're thinking about, you have an ignition, you have bear spray, you have pepper spray, you have wasp and hornet spray, you have a hammer, I'm sure, somewhere in there. You have, because I keep that, and you have pointed objects. You know what I mean. So, that will do the job. So think about things to protect yourself. Yes, don't be foolish. Lock yourself always in. Be as stealthy as you can. You don't want to be out there like, hey, look at me, right? But I'm just telling you, go ahead and be ready. Because you don't know, this world is bananas anyway, right? So we're all bananas right now. But I just want to tell you all that. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you, your best hope is the Lord. And honestly, if you're traveling, even if you're just in your car traveling, you know, hey, Jesus, be with me as I travel. Hey, Lord, cover my car with your blood. Cover me with your blood. If you don't understand what that is, you can look that up. But it's not literally, you know, you're not pouring anything literally over your vehicle, over yourself. But you're asking Jesus to cover you, basically. Let's just put it that way. He's going to. But if you have him in your life and heart, then he's going to be with you. If you don't have him in your life and heart, well, maybe you need to get him there. So I'm just saying. And then go ahead and always have the Lord with you, because it's the best way. And really, honestly, the older I get, the more I come to find out it's the only way. So there's a song that goes, "I search the world," right, to try to find it. You know, it's anyway. He talks about your way's better. Oh, your way's better. Jesus, your way's better. Oh, your way's better. His way is better. I can't tell you enough. His way is better. So keep him in your life and heart. Oh, good heavens, I'm trying to get in my compound here. Well, they're working on this one house, so I'm not, they got to put their truck here. We have a yard sale today, so there's folks around, and somebody's pulled in with his truck. So you got a truck on one side, car on the other side. Am I going to fit? I mean, I don't blame them. They're looking at the merchandise, so I get it. So. Oh, my neighbor took down some of her stuff. Wonder if she's going to keep selling. Well, anyway, I'm not selling anything. I'm just going to sell it on Marketplace. But I have made it to the compound. Woohoo! I call it the compound. I don't call it the park. And that's just me. I might duck out of here just for a second. I have your vision because I'm trying to turn around. I got to go down and turn around because I have my trailer in my carport. So I got to do this little maneuvering here. If you just had a car, you wouldn't have to do this maneuvering, just like me now. My house is beautiful. It's white and blue. It has blue lights in the carport, and I like to leave them there because it's beautiful. My son put them up for me, and yeah. This is a 2-car carport, and my beautiful white and blue home. So there you go. But guys, listen, I'm back here. I'm going to get out now, and I don't like to go much past 20 minutes, but I'm hoping that I gave you some good advice. You can always rewind the video like it's a rewind, like beep. I know, push the button. You know what I mean. Back it up. And you can see, right? Hello. So you can see what you can do for insulation. But I would look up different ways to insulate a van if I were you. There are people that will build them out for you. It's expensive. So I don't have thousands of dollars to do that. Even when I sell a house, I'm not going to have thousands of dollars to do that. So my goal is to do it myself, get it done, and not a lot of makeup today. I just noticed that on here. Well, hello. But you're going to be fine. You really are. But the only way you're going to be really fine is you have Jesus with you. That doesn't mean you're not going to cry. It doesn't mean you're not going to get frustrated. It doesn't mean you're not going to get angry. We're humans, so we all do those things, right? Me too. So sometimes I get to run in my mouth too much. So, and some words come out that I wish I wouldn't. And I've talked about that in other videos. It's just because, you're an ordained minister does not mean you are holier than thou, and I don't have wings, okay? I certainly did not have a halo. So, bottom line is, if you do make those mistakes, or sins, they're really sins, not just mistakes, ask God to forgive you. It's got to come from the heart, though. He'll forgive you, and He's going to help you to get better. So hang on to Him, trust in Him, believe in Him, keep Him with you. So He'll be with you in a van, He'll be with you in a car, He'll be with you if you buy a truck and live in a truck, if you buy a box truck and you make the box truck your apartment, if you buy a schoolie, it doesn't matter, He's going to be with you. And that's the whole thing. He will be with you. So, with that said, I'm going to get off of here and trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will make your path straight. Your path's going to be a little wonky, right? If He's not there with you. So, I'm going to go touch up my makeup. I have somebody coming over to pick up a couch. So I am going to be selling that today, and I've already sold my 2 dressers, and yeah, I'm serious about this, y'all. So if anybody's wondering if I'm serious, yeah, I am, and yeah, I did get a boo-boo there. So I just noticed that. So if you're all going, what's wrong with her? When you look at a video and you go, what is that? Yeah, my lipsters were way too dry last night anyway. And I had lunch, so my lipstick is gone. So I'll be putting that back on. I'll be looking normal in a little while. But honestly, you've got to keep Jesus with you. And He's the only way. Only way. So the Bible tells us that. And start reading that. If you don't know where to start, I always say start in Psalms. I like the Psalms, so it's my thing, and I like that it's very honest and very transparent. David was like out there, and sometimes, and he was like, what is wrong with you today? But you can tell he went through, just like we go through stuff. That's why I said none of us are perfect. We are not perfect. So, nor was David, nor was Moses, nor was, any of those people that the Lord used. But He used them anyway. And He'll use you too, in the way He's supposed to. But you need to be talking to Him. That's all I can tell you. And I know this from experience, so I'm not like trying to say, you better. I'm just saying it would be better if you did than if you didn't. Just a little advice. If you don't like the advice, that's okay. It's up to you, but I suggest you do. I know it works for me, and it works 1,000% for me. So I'm not going to say not to. In the meantime, do me a favor. Love one another as the Lord has loved you. Because He does love you. I'm trying to balance my phone up here. Anyway, so love one another as the Lord has loved you. I know you don't get hearts on here like we did on Facebook. And mahalo nui loa for listening. Thank you very much. Aloha nui loa. Love you very much. And you're on Van Life with Minister Mary. Aloha keakua. And aloha keakua means God is love. He really, truly does love you. Pray for one another. Where you see a need, fill it if you can. That's the best thing you can possibly do. Be kind to one another. We got so much going on in this world today. Wouldn't a little kindness be nice? I think so. So with that said, I'm going to say bye for now. I'm in the SUV currently, but I'm going to see what God's timing is, and there will be a van in my future. And I don't know what you see in your future. By the way, only God knows your future. And so you better talk to him about that. Don't be calling nobody up and trying to say, well, do you see in my crystal ball, in your crystal ball? Knock that stuff off. I know, because I used to do that. I've had experience with that as well. It doesn't get you anywhere. All it gets you is spend a lot of money, and somebody else is getting on, happy on your dime. So there you go. But I'm going to get off here and put my glasses on, look more teachery. There, do I look more teachery? I put the makeup on, I won't be such a scary teacher. And then I'm going to get off of here, go back in the house, take care of the dog, and wait for the people to come pick up the couch. Then after that, I got to gallivant off to work. And do that. And my day isn't too long today, so it'll be okay. So we're just going to go one step at a time. Do the same. But really, trust in God. You won't have anything to fear. You'll go through some stuff. Yes, you will. But at the same time, if you trust him, it'll be better. Ooh, there's a truck. Ooh, there's a truck. Where's the truck going? Is it a delivery for me? I have some stuff I gotta get. But, oh, no, it's a neighbor. He just backs in. I saw a white truck. I'm like, delivery? Anyway, I got one delivery today. I'll have to wear that shirt I just got. It's so cool. But in the meantime, I'm going to get off of here because I'll just think of something. Like how you go, squirrel. That's me. So, all right, you guys. So, Shaka, love you much. Aloha nui loa. And take care of one another, please. Help one another. And I'll definitely see you in the next video. It may be in here. It may be in my stick and brick until it's sold. Or it may be a combination of everything going on at once. Like here, this is going and that's going, and now I got this, and now I'll let you know. God's going to work it all out. God will make a way where there's no way. I'm telling you. All right. I will talk to y'all later. Bye for now.